In this episode, we're going to be talking about starting a lifestyle business, doing what you love, and of course, having a career that gives you the freedom to go where you want. My guest today is Sarah Peterson from Unsettle blog and podcast. So first off, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Travis.
So tell me a little bit about your story, Sarah. Like, how did you get started in this? What led up to this point now where you have a blog and a podcast?
Have you read The Art of Work?
No, I have not.
Okay, it's a book by Jeff Goins. He recently came out with it, and I was reading it last year, and I realized that like my whole life led up to the point where I started Unsettle, because I started as an entrepreneur really when I was very young. Like I think I was probably like 5 or 6, and I dragged he had this like workbench, and I dragged it to the bottom of the driveway, and I was selling like 5-cent candies to my neighbors and everything like that, probably ripping them off. I don't rip people off anymore though, but hopefully. And then, so even like when I was young, I really loved to write, and then I started a blog a few years ago, 5 years ago actually now, 5 years ago on August 10th. Wow. And it was a personal finance blog, and I started earning money through that. So I was monetizing it through advertising and things like that, which I don't do anymore, but I realized that you don't have to settle for a 9-to-5, like a normal job that society expects of you. So I did the personal finance blog for 4.5 years, and then I realized that I just didn't love the topic of personal finance. It's not something that I was in love with. When I started it, I loved it because I was a student and I was trying to pay my way through school and work full time. So it was just a lot of personal finance thoughts going through my head. But when I grew out of that topic, I realized that what my passion lies in, and people use passion as a buzzword, but we'll just say passion. So what my passion lies in is helping people with their careers. And I love blogging, I love writing, and one of my skills is influencing people. So I just thought that it would be like the perfect way or a perfect segment into helping people unsettle from those careers that they don't love, start something online, and live a really flexible lifestyle. So that's where I started Unsettle.
That's awesome story. So this episode's really going to be about building a lifestyle business, and this is a term I've heard a lot, and I've heard a lot of different loose definitions, but before the show you told me a good definition. So what do you consider to be a lifestyle business?
Right. So a lifestyle business is any business that allows you to live the lifestyle that you want, whatever that is. So if you want a lifestyle where you can work at any time of the day rather than just from 9 to 5, that's a lifestyle business if you can build a business around that. If if your lifestyle is that you want to just spend more time with your friends and family and you can build a business around that, then you have a lifestyle business. So anything that allows you to live the lifestyle that you want to live.
So really, pretty much everybody should want to start a lifestyle business. It's just a business that lets you do what you want to do, right?
Right?
Let's help people do that then. So I guess the first big question is, how do you get an idea for what to do for your lifestyle business? Because that seems to be a big barrier to entry. I know a lot of people that, yeah, of course, I'd love to start a lifestyle business, but do you have recommendations on coming up with that initial idea?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that you should probably look at doing if you are in a really unhappy job situation and you just want to get out of it so that you can, have a little bit more freedom and flexibility, is start with freelancing. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of success just starting with freelancing, so I'd recommend starting that. It's probably the easiest way to stop working in a job that you hate.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from freelancing, if you really want to start a business that you absolutely love but you don't have an idea for it, then I would first recommend you look into what you're skilled at. Mm-hmm. So we have a hard time defining what we're skilled at. We can usually say what other people are skilled at, but it's a big deficit for us. So, even just asking your family and friends, like, what do you think are my biggest skills? And they'll be able to tell you, because chances are you probably know what your friends are skilled at, but maybe not yourself.
So let's start with the freelancing really quick. Do you have any examples of different types of freelancing work you'd recommend people start with?
Yeah, so there's freelance writing. So a lot of people get into freelance writing if you're a good writer. You could be a freelance podcast editor. You could be a freelance SEO expert. You could be a freelance cartoonist. Like I know a lot of people that do pretty well with that. You could be a freelance graphic designer. So any skill that you have, you could be a freelance whatever.
And how would you get new clients? Let's say you wanted to be a freelance graphic designer or writer. What kind of things, like how do you meet someone that wants to pay you for that?
Yeah, so there's a few ways, and the best ways that I've come across, especially recently, is one podcast guest actually said LinkedIn is her biggest
Hmm.
driver to freelance. So every time that somebody connects with her on LinkedIn, she, connects with them, lets them know that she is a freelancer, and pretty much just analyzes their business and tells them how she can help them. She's a freelance writer. Um, as far as other ways, so Sean Ogle from Location 180, he suggests going out and just actually going to networking events in complementary industries. So if you go to a freelance writing
Mhm.
event and everyone there is going to be a freelance writer, so don't do that. But go to, for instance, like a graphic design event or a, you know, SEO event, because then the copy, there's a lot of people that need writing because
Mhm.
it's a big part of SEO. So going to complementary industries and actually just meeting people is a huge thing. So just go to meetup.com and look up meetups in your city. So there's those two things. Reaching out to the people that you know. Like, we totally underestimate the power of our networks.
Mhm.
And especially if you built meaningful relationships with people in your network, then reach out to them and just ask whether they know of anything or they have anything themselves. And that's where a lot of people have started. And then, of course, cold pitching, which a lot of people hate. But you can just send cold pitches through email. It doesn't have to be through phone calls, which takes the pressure off a little bit. So those are four ways that are quite effective. And finally, if you're looking into freelance writing or anything actually, you can just write articles around the topic. So let's say you want to do freelance graphic design, write a very comprehensive guide to graphic design. People will read it and be like, I don't want to do all this. Like, I'll just hire you to do it, right? They want the done for you solution. So there's,
Absolutely. I really like freelancing because it's a good transition from people that are in the workforce used to trading their time for money. It's a way to do that with a little bit more freedom. But I really like what you did in starting a blog and really creating a lifestyle business about that. As far as coming up with ideas for starting blogs or something like that, do you have any recommendations?
yeah, I have a lot. So I have a full free course on this. So my first thing is market research. So list the topics that you're interested in right now. You don't have to be fanatical about them. They don't have to be a passion, but just things that you're interested in. So I don't know. I really love the topic of raw food right now. So if I were starting this, I would probably list that down. And if you're really into ice cream, list that down. I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up, but
Mhm.
list everything that you're interested in right now, and
Everybody's
then
writing down ice cream right now. They're
ice
like,
cream.
yes, that's a great topic.
I'm gonna write an ice cream vlog.
That'd be really good.
It would be, yeah. Anyway, so list it all, and then just start looking at what is out there as far as people's struggles with these topics. So I use Reddit, Quora, Facebook groups, and there's a few other sites that you can do market research on. It's kind of a buzzword, but you're just looking for what people are struggling with these specific topics that you've written down that you're interested in. So, for instance, let's go with the raw food because it's probably a little bit more viable than the ice cream idea.
Okay.
So raw food diets are kind of a fad right now, but I know a lot of people are struggling with incorporating raw food diets into their lives. So for instance, if I were to start looking up raw food, like I type in raw food on searchreddit.com, which is a search engine for Reddit. And there's a ton of conversation going on Reddit about every topic. So this is a great market research ground. So if you type in raw food and you find a whole bunch of questions that people are asking about it and discussions around it, and you keep on seeing that people are saying, well, I want to be a raw foodist. I don't know if that's a thing. I want to be a raw foodist, but I'm scared that I won't be able to go out to eat with my friends, or I'm scared that I won't have, enough protein in my diet, or whatever it is. So you're seeing all these concerns. And if you see enough of these, like enough questions and enough discussion around this specific topic, and you think that people will pay for it. So when it comes to like health, nutrition, careers, all these things are things that people will pay for. People probably wouldn't pay to, I don't know, find out what the best ice cream spots are in the town, but
Probably not.
so do that analysis to see if people will pay for it, and not just, would they be willing to, but would they actually like hand over money? Are they able to afford it, sort of thing. And then just start brainstorming ideas around that specific topic.
So obviously you picked blog and podcast as your medium, but my question is, how do you decide between blog, podcast, and have you thought about YouTube as well?
I've thought about YouTube. Yes, it's too much right now. I can't handle it.
Okay.
So podcasting, I mean, there's so much power in podcasting. It's I started a blog because I'm very familiar with blogging. It's one of my skill sets. I love to write. But if you don't like to write or if you prefer to speak things out, then start a podcast. There's like 500,000 podcasts out there, but there's like 500 million blogs. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, make an educated decision about what your skills are. So if you're terrible at speaking, then maybe not podcasting or YouTube videos, but
Yeah, one thing I do recommend people that are looking to start is YouTube's a pretty powerful component, and it's something that I'm looking to start incorporating more of. Is that something in the future when you're less busy you're going to look at, or is it not really on your radar?
I'm sure I will eventually. I don't want to. Have you read the book The One Thing by Gary Keller?
I've read a synopsis of it. Yeah.
Okay. So it would be a distraction for me at this point. I'm really just trying to focus on the podcast, and I feel like I got the blog on autopilot, but I have to focus on the podcast, build that up, and then eventually, I mean, if I hire some help, maybe I can do YouTube. But videos, I do a little bit in, my paid products and stuff like that, but
Okay.
that's it.
So let's go back to the lifestyle business, and we had a lot of good tips about ideas. Was there any other things that you wanted to cover about coming up with an idea before we move on?
Good question. No, I think that you just really have to focus on how you can provide value
Mm-hmm.
and whether or not you're interested in the topic, which is very important because otherwise you're just going to burn out. And I mean, that's not a lifestyle business.
Yeah.
It's just a business. You bought yourself a job. And then, yeah, whether or not the people who you would be providing value to can afford to pay you and would be willing to pay you for your solutions.
Perfect. So by this point, we have an amazing idea for a business. What's next? How do we let's assume that we're not doing freelancing, but we're starting a blog or something like that. And obviously there's a lot of tutorials online about how to actually do the work of starting the blog. Once you've gotten the blog up, maybe a podcast up, what do you do next after that?
So then it's just getting the word out and getting your solution in front of the audience or the people that need it.
Okay.
So,
Easy.
yeah.
Let's dig into that. How have you done and how have you found success with that?
Yeah. So for me, I found a lot of success with guest posting. That's what I started with. So it's one of those things where you reach a maximum amount of people that you can reach. Like it takes me, let's say, 5 hours to write a guest post,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only so much guest posting you can do, and there's only so many sites that you can guest post on. So it's kind of a it's not sustainable, but it's a great way to start. So my first guest post was on Fast Company, for instance, and that's just because of the industry that I'm in, but I was able to get like 600 new subscribers from that first guest post, which is really great. If you know anything about like subscriber numbers for guest posts, that's pretty good. So that's where I would start, and it boosts your social proof as well. So for instance, if you were to start a raw food blog that you could offer, going with that example, then you would just have to find other blogs that maybe are interested in taking articles about the topic of raw food and get in front of their audience and provide those solutions to their audience. So that's the first thing. Another thing is just social media. There are some people who have built their entire careers just on one social media platform. Like they have websites, but that's not their main driver. So social media is huge because so many people spend so much time on there. So that's another promotion. Networking in person. I hate the word networking because it sounds so like superficial, like you're just shoving your business card in someone's face. Not like that. Like building relationships with people is paramount. And doing the best job that you possibly can do. So everything that you put out there should be excellent so that your community members will go out there and spread the word for you.
So let's dig into all those topics. Let's start. You talked about posting on Fast Company. How did you get that opportunity?
Yeah, so anyone can do it if you are good at writing or good at pitch writing. So I just pitched them.
Okay.
So I just sent a pitch email. It took me about 2 hours to find out what topic that I wanted to pitch them to make sure that it would be accepted. So I literally I pulled up, quicksprout.com.
No, I don't.
Okay. It's like it's an analytics tool. So it sorts the most popular posts on a single website, whatever that website is, based on social shares. So I went to quicksprout.com and I typed in Fast Company because I knew I wanted to get on Fast Company. And it sorted it through the most popular posts on their site. And at the time, probably like the 10 most popular posts all had something to do with waking up early. Like,
Hmm.
I don't, it was like, how these successful people wake up early and this is why they wake up early, but none of them showed you how to wake up early.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, well, I'll just write a post on that. And it was weird because that was my first guest post and it was probably the easiest topic that I've ever come up with. And then I just brainstormed 25 headlines and then got rid of most of them and pitched 3 headlines for it to the editor of Fast Company. Yeah.
Other than what you just talked about, was there anything you did like with the subject line of your email to help really make your email stand out? Because I'm sure they get thousands of emails trying to pitch them a day.
I think my subject was quick question.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
it was a quick question. I don't know. Can I write for you? This is what I want to write about.
Fair
um,
enough. Okay.
yeah, so I think like these big websites. So for instance, Fast Company, Huffington Post, Forbes. I'm listing business websites because my niche is business. But Mind Body Green, if you're in the health niche or whatever, these websites they're starving for content, good content. So I hate the word content too. That's so annoying to
You
me.
hate a
It's like
lot of words,
I
apparently.
know it just sounds so like empty and vapid. Um, but they're starving for content. Like Huffington Post posts like 5,000 articles a day. They need good content. So if you are a good writer and you produce good content, they want to hear from you. So those types of sites, like you don't have to be scared that they don't want your writing. They're doing you a favor. No, you're doing them a favor if you do really good writing.
Yeah, a friend of mine explained it too. It's not like a magazine where they're only allowed to publish, 20 articles in the entire magazine. They have infinite amount that they're able to publish, and they get paid by ads. So the more impressions that they can get, the better, really. So you really are doing them a huge favor.
You are.
So let's talk about guest posting because we quickly covered that. And let's say we found a bunch of different websites in the vegan or in the raw food niche. That's great, but then how did you go about approaching them so they would want to post your guest post? Because I've had people come to me and say, "Hey, I want a guest post for you," and I'm like, I don't really want your topic. How do you convince someone that your guest post is going to be good and that they should have it on their site?
So, first of all, headline.
Hmm.
That's going to be their first impression of you. Okay, so if it's a single authored blog, you probably need to have a relationship with the blogger before you guest post on their site or you approach them. Like, for instance, when people pitch me, unless I've heard from them before, I'm probably not going to. I mean, I'll respond to every email, but I'm probably not going to say, yes, you can guest post on my site because they're
Hmm.
not a community member if I haven't heard from them before. Um, but if people, like if you pitch, for instance, Mind Body Green, because we're talking about the nutrition industry, then you just need to brainstorm the guest post and follow or the topic, and then follow their guidelines. So do that research. A lot of this has to do with research. A lot of lifestyle business in general at first has to do with research. So go to buzzsumo.com and type in the URL of the website and just look at the most popular posts. And then start reading all the comments on the popular post. Read the top 10 popular posts. Just get to know the site really well.
We were wrapping up guest posting. Was there anything else that we wanted to add to that?
No, just make sure your pitch email is short and sweet. Make sure you follow their guidelines and be friendly. And if they don't get back to you within a couple of weeks, then they're saying no.
I like it. Okay,
Yep.
what about Reddit? Have you used Reddit a lot? You talked about it earlier, but have you used it for promotion for your site?
So my first day on Unsettle, I trumped my best day on my personal finance blog because of Reddit. So I submitted my article to Reddit and it just went crazy in the productivity subreddit. So you can promote on Reddit, but the problem is if you are promoting your own stuff too much, then people start ignoring you.
Mm.
So you have to have a balance of promoting other people's work. Like if you really liked an article, make sure to submit it to Reddit and answer questions, actually like contribute to the conversation because Reddit is just it's a community, right? So you don't want to be one of those people that just comes in to the community beating your chest and yeah.
So when you said submit it to Reddit, you mean just start like a post on Reddit saying like, "Hey, here's my article. What do you guys think?" Or how'd you do that?
Yeah, so the article that I submitted was called An Insanely Simple 3-Step Guide to Killing Procrastination. it's a good headline. So again, your headline is everybody's first point of contact with your article.
Hmm.
It was a good article too, so it wasn't link bait or clickbait. So I went to the subreddit of productivity because it's about productivity, and I just typed in the headline or copied and pasted the headline, and then it was just a link. So it's not an entire post; it was a link, and then they click on the headline, and then it takes them to the post. They read through the post, and then they can comment on Reddit or they can comment on my blog or whatever. So that's how you submit it to Reddit. You have to submit to a subreddit. So
Gotcha.
that's like a little miniature community within the bigger community of Reddit.
And did you get any people from Reddit that were kind of like, oh, you're promoting your own stuff, like any trolls at all?
I mean, Reddit is full of trolls. I actually got one person said, that's not clickbait. And then somebody else was like, did you read the article? And he was like, no. I'm like,
Okay.
then how do you know it's clickbait? So you just ignore them. It's not like,
Okay. So
it
nothing
is.
too harsh then.
No, I mean, unless you are being a spammer, in which case you deserve it,
Hmm.
then yeah, you're usually fine.
So let's move on to now it sounds like you got some traffic, you got some good content on your site. How do you go about actually monetizing the site and actually making money so you can enjoy your lifestyle?
So, first of all, if you're starting a business from scratch and you're not breaking into the freelancing world first, I would highly recommend that you don't quit your day job until you have at least, let's say, 1,000 to 1,500 email subscribers.
Mm,
The
okay.
money is in the list. So stick with freelancing or your day job or whatever until you have that amount of email subscribers, because then that's enough to find out what those people want from you and then create what they want. Like that's the best way to make sure that you're profitable is ask the people what they want and give the people what they want, right?
I like it.
So yeah, so um I actually my free course is based on that principle. So I emailed everybody on my list. It's part of my autoresponder sequence where I just ask, what are you struggling with right now? I think that's a Derek Halpern thing. He suggests saying that. So, what are you struggling with right now? And I got a whole bunch of responses from people saying, well, I just don't have an idea. Like, I don't know what I want to do. So, I created a free course to help people find that idea. And then they go through the free course. You can monetize through building a product around what people say they want from you. So if you're in the raw food niche and everyone's like, I just need recipes because I like under 5 minutes, you could create a recipe book for raw food under 5 minutes. I don't know, making this up, but whatever. And then, so I have created my first actual paid product, but I also do coaching and affiliate marketing and everything like that. I think a lot of people, beginners, would do well to look into promoting products that already exist that they love and that they would recommend that their sister or their mother or their brother use, products that they truly do love, and promoting those on your blog because you're probably going to mention them anyway if you use them that much.
Mhm.
So you might as well, see if they have an affiliate program and start making money through that. That's the easiest problem. Well, I think a lot of people would argue with me that that's the easiest way. If you have a great relationship with your audience and you truly love the product, I stand by the fact that that's the easiest way to get started making money online.
Great answers. So I want to wrap up here and ask you, do you have any general advice? And I know this is a big question, but general advice for people in their 20s, anything, you wish you could spread the message around to the world, anything like that?
That is a big question. I would just say that whatever is holding you back right now is probably fear. So
Okay.
from anything, even if you don't want to start a lifestyle business, even if you want to get a promotion at your day job or go traveling, everything that's holding you back is fear. If you're listening to this, you're in a position where you have probably a laptop or an iPhone or something like that. You're listening to a podcast, you're watching a video. You're in a position of essentially privilege, and you might think, well, I can't just quit my job and go traveling, but you can. That's just
Hmm.
fear talking. Like everyone listening to this probably could do that. Just work for a couple of months and save up money and whatever, rent out their house or give up their apartment and go traveling. So whatever is holding you back from whatever you want to achieve is fear, and just work backwards and look at what is the worst that could happen if you took that leap.
I completely agree. And I've had a lot of people say to me like, "Oh, well, you're just, lucky. You must be rich or something like that." And I'm like, "Look, if you're exactly this, if you're listening to this podcast, you're lucky and you're not the poorest person in the world. You got an iPhone or something to listen to this." Completely agree that it's a lot of people I think fear and they project that on reasons why they can't potentially do something. Great podcast. Sarah, where can people find out more about you?
My website is unsettle.org, so that's without a D, so unsettle.org. And I'm on Twitter at Peterson, Peterson, and then Sarah, SAR. And yeah, if you want to take the free course to find a lifestyle business idea, you can find that at unsettle.org/free-course. And that's about it.
Cool. I'll put all the links that we talked about in the show notes. Thank you, Sarah, so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, make sure you hit the big red subscribe button down below. You can also check me out on Facebook and on Twitter. And I release a new video every Monday. And by hitting that subscribe button, you'll get those new videos every Monday. And this is really a podcast. It's also a website. You can check out the website. It's howtodoyour20s.com. I'll put a link right over here as well. And what it's all about is trying to improve your life. And we specifically focus on things that people in their 20s are interested in. So make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe. Like us on Facebook and Twitter, whatever. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again on another video.